everyone. Scott Hansen here from NFL Red Zone, and you're watching the Super Fantasy Bros podcast. 1 hour of commercial-free podcasting starts now. Enjoy the show.
All right, welcome back to the Super Fantasy Bros podcast, brought to you at the Old City Sports Network. Today, we will be doing our second annual end-of-season recap and playoff preview for the NFL. We are obviously typically more fantasy-focused, but this episode is strictly focused on the NFL teams themselves. Way back in September, we predicted the upcoming NFL season, giving record predictions for each team, our projected playoff teams, and our Super Bowl predictions. So we'll look back at those, see how good or bad those were, and then discuss the season, give out our updated playoff predictions for Wild Card Weekend and our updated Super Bowl picks. So before we get into that, we did pick every single game this season. So, Q, congratulations. You got them all right, buddy.
All of them?
Yes.
Not all.
Every single one.
You'd be a rich man if you could do that.
I should have bet money on my picks this year.
You should have. Q, 181 picks correct, only 91 wrong. Matt, 5 picks back, 176 and 96. I was 2 behind that at 174 and 98. T-God's a little bit behind, 155 and 117. Went a little overboard, probably the last 6 weeks trying to catch up. But that's okay. That's the way you do it at that point. You were already feeling like you were out, so you just got to start winging it.
Play to win.
But we'll see who had the better side of the predictions aspect here. So let's get into that real quick. So starting off with the NFC North and our predictions here, it seems like we were all kind of on the Vikings. Clearly, that did not end up being accurate.
It could have.
Should have.
Q started off with your mindset here when you were going through picking this division.
Well, Kirk's the best quarterback in that division, so that's why I'm sure we all had, except for, that was the actual. Except for, we all had Kirk. Or we all had the Vikings at the top. I had them because Kirk is the best quarterback in the division, and definitely did not. I was a little too low on the Packers, too. I like Jordan Love. He's possibly the second best quarterback in that division.
Yeah,
definitely over
Sean's getting
Justin
so mad
Fields.
right
now. I know.
All right, relax on Fields. Relax. But
he's not even going to be on the Bears next year, so
he might not be. So we'll see. We'll see if he can prove it elsewhere. But I definitely dragged T-Gods into Bears country with me. Just looking at mine, I had them going all the way to 11-6, and I also wasn't a huge believer in the Lions. I thought maybe last year was a little bit fluky, but clearly they proved me wrong a lot. But yeah, it wasn't a great set of predictions here. Only me and Matt were the ones that had a little bit more belief in the Packers as well.
Yeah.
But you guys all believed in the Lions more than I did. Had them all finishing in the second spot at least. So respect to you guys there. Not my best work.
They still might be frauds.
It's a tough division.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Hard to predict.
Yeah. I mean, no one knew what Jordan Love was going to be in the beginning of the season. And obviously I was all in on the Justin Fields hype for no reason. So we'll see what happens.
Sean.
Sorry.
It came crashing down.
Yeah, pretty
Crash
much.
and burn.
All right, let's move on to our division, the Eagles division, the NFC East.
Get it over with.
What the fuck?
My God,
Yeah.
Matt 15-2.
Yeah, Matt, you want to run through yours?
I wasn't.
Oh my God.
I swore Q had the Eagles at 16-1.
I think.
I think he backed them down a little bit.
I don't know.
He does have someone at 16-1 later, but
I mean, what do we go 15-2 last year? We had almost the same exact team. I didn't see why we couldn't repeat it. It looked like we were going to in the beginning of the year, and then our team just had an absolute collapse. So hopefully we can get it right for the playoffs. But I had all the faith in the world in my Birds.
Yeah. I think we all did. Obviously, I was the lowest at 13-4, which is still probably 1 seed potential right there. So I was all the way in on them as well. We were all kind of pretty in on the Cowboys as well, still being the second best team, pretty clear cut there. I bought way too much into the Giants being a playoff team last year, thinking that they could repeat it. What were they, 10-7 last year? I think they might have been 9-8. and they were able to get in the playoffs, win a playoff game. So I was like, maybe they ride off that momentum, but clearly not. They did finish 6-11. You guys were pretty much bang on there across the board there, and we all knew the Commanders were going to be bad this year.
They
Yep.
suck.
Yeah, they were not good, but not too bad all around. Eagles and Cowboys, we all had being relatively good, all above 500, so we knew, but a little bit of Eagles bias. Obviously can't be putting the Cowboys preseason over the Birds.
Right. Can't do that. That's a crime.
A crime as an Eagles fan. All right, let's move on to the NFC West. This one seemed pretty straightforward.
Oh yeah. Oh my
Except,
God, Q,
Yeah.
16-1.
Cardinals were ass.
yeah, Q, let's jump to yours quick because you got a couple of wild ones in there.
Where'd they finish?
12-5.
The Niners?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought they had a better record than that. Clearly, I wasn't aware of Puka Nakua.
I didn't
next,
even peep 3-14.
Well, and I was like, Stafford's like half dead. And if they had Carson Wentz for a full season, the 49ers would have the Rams record. The Rams would have the 49ers record. So next year, it'll be much different, mainly because of Puka. And the Seahawks are frauds. Cardinals still stink.
Yeah, Seahawks were frauds. We were all a little bit too high on them. They were pretty good. Obviously, they were a game out. T-Gods was right on with 9-8 and also right on with the Rams finishing ahead of them. So big ups there. But me and Matt and T-Gods all across the board had a little bit more faith in the Rams than Q there. But Cardinals, obviously, we expected them to suck. Didn't have Kyler for the first half. And even with him, they were a little bit frisky, had a little bit of fun upsetting some teams. But at the end of the day, still 4-13, pretty tragically
They
ass.
upset us.
I'm surprised
Yep.
you picked them to go 1-16, Sean.
I knew they were going to be bad. 1-16 might have been a little bit drastic. Maybe I should have expected a couple more wins with Kyler back, but yeah, not my best work again. All right, NFC South. T-Gods, let's go through your mindset here because you hated this division.
I didn't know that. God, what's his name? What's the Falcons coach's name?
Arthur Smith.
Arthur
Fraud,
Smith. Yes.
Fraud McGee.
Dude, I didn't know that he wouldn't know how to use Bijan. I thought maybe he'd use Pitts. Finally, Drake London. I mean, he was still pretty. He was pretty good, but either way, I thought the Falcons were going to be much better than they were. I don't know. I didn't believe in Baker. I hated Baker. I'm kind of a Baker fan. Kind of a Baker fan now.
Not this week, though.
Not this week. Not this week.
Definitely not this week.
Gator might
Dude.
still be. I don't know. But
Gator said he would poop on him or something on the phone to me earlier this week,
right.
saying like, I will be the biggest Baker hater this week ever.
Yeah, right. Q, what in the world made you think the Saints were going 14-3?
I mean, look at their team on paper. They had a great defense, and you know, I can't believe in Derek Carr anymore.
He's so
dude,
bad.
so bad. I don't want a player that I don't want a receiver that has to catch a ball from him because he'll never get the ball.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, T-Gods was the only one that saw right through the Derek Carr belief, although he was a little bit too low on them. Matt, you were right on with the Saints, but you just did not see the Bucks coming. I don't think any of us really saw the Bucks coming. Q the highest at 7-10.
Baker.
Yeah, so Bucks were definitely tough to predict, and we were all somehow too high on the Panthers except Q. The Panthers maybe had a little bit of spice with the number one pick, but Bryce Young, absolute fraud. So,
Fraud.
yikes.
he
Big
blows.
yikes there.
Fraudulent.
Matt also tried to predict that tie. I wish it came.
Tried to. I wish. That would have been funny.
Hilarious. All right, moving on to the AFC. But before we do that, the sponsor for today's episode is Fanatics, the number one provider for NFL merchandise. Holiday season well past at this point, but that means the playoffs are now here this week. And if you're looking to get on the bandwagon for your team, please make sure you get that merch through Fanatics. They've got you covered. Jersey, hats, hoodies, t-shirts. They got everything you could need. So go to the Fanatics link in our bio on all platforms. Take advantage of their sale going on right now using code 24SHIP to get free shipping on any order over $24. And again, that code is 24SHIP. So please go through the link in our bio. It's on all platforms. It's on the YouTube if you're watching there, Twitch, wherever you're watching us. The link is there. We appreciate any support. So make sure you go through that link. Now let's get back to the AFC predictions that we had to start the season. AFC North. I guess I'll start this one off because I was the believer in the Ravens of the group here. I had them going 13-4. Hugely correct there. I think the Bengals, obviously, just disappointment across the board for all of us. We all had them going pretty high with Burrow, but obviously him getting hurt ruined that. I also was the highest on the Steelers, which they did end up sneaking in the playoffs. I was still a game short. It was too hard I can't predict Mike Tomlin not to go 500. It's been 17 seasons in a row. So I had to at least put him at 9-8. But the Browns, I was way off. Q and Matt, you guys can touch on your Browns belief in the beginning of the season.
And it's crazy because the reason I believed in him.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
It
Who
didn't
knew
work
that
out
there
in
would be
our
someone
favor.
even better than him.
Joe Flacco, Jerome Ford, and Amari Cooper saved the Browns season.
Hey.
And their defense.
Don't forget. No,
And
you forgot
Njoku.
Yeah.
The Browns could be sneaky in the playoffs.
They definitely could. I did not see them making the playoffs at all. I did think they would definitely put up a fight. That defense has been solid for a little while now, but I did not see Deshaun Watson really putting it together, which ended up being true. But the 38-year-old Joe Flacco pushing them through the playoffs, I definitely could never have predicted that in a million years. So,
Q, why did you hate the Ravens so much?
He was on the Lamar fraud bandwagon in the preseason.
I just think there was too
that's
much going on in the
bad.
offseason. I don't know. And they have no receivers, but obviously Lamar was able to turn it up.
All right.
I really hope that Ravens and Browns play in the playoffs. Because imagine Joe Flacco coming in the Baltimore and taking his old team out.
No
Yeah.
way.
That would be insane.
I think there's they might be the only team that could upset them because they've already seen them twice. They see them a lot. They know Lamar better than probably any other defense in the playoffs. So,
but the Ravens know Flacco.
Flacco knows the
have the same coach still.
Yeah, but they don't know Flacco now. Flacco's 90 years old. He's just going to be airing it out as much as possible. Just if he limits the interceptions, we shall see. But yeah, AFC North, pretty tough one to predict with Burrow going down. Let's move on to the AFC East. Yikes.
Oh my God, not this, dude. Anything but this.
Sean, the Jets.
I think I might have been the worst by far on this division. I had the Jets at 14-3. I was all in on Aaron Rodgers. Clearly, he got hurt immediately, so that shut that down.
Immediately.
I also was not a believer in the Dolphins at all. I really thought they were a little bit fraudulent. I had them going 7-10.
They still are.
I was
beat a team over
They
500.
are.
I know they just stomped every team that was bad, so they were able to clearly get to 11-6, where all of you somehow had them at 11-6, except me.
We knew.
Y'all knew, didn't
Lock
tell
them in.
me before we did this, so I was all in on the 7-10 Dolphins not being good, but they're good. Gotta respect them. But Q, 16-1 for the Bills. That would have been insane with that schedule.
It's not difficult or impossible to think that could have happened, but
Yeah,
and it's crazy they just barely made the playoffs too.
I know. It ended up being not as climactic.
Game earlier.
Yeah, because of the games that the Jaguars lost and whatnot. But yeah, it's tough. Division, obviously, with the Jets falling off, just changes all of our predictions. None of us would have had the Jets over 10 wins at most without Aaron Rodgers. So yeah, tough one there. We'll see what happens next year with Rodgers coming back. AFC West. All right, Q, I have to go back to you for the Jay Herbo love.
I mean, but then the team stinks. They could be good next year with
Bro, Jay Herbo sucks bad.
All right.
He sucks bad.
with John Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh. But they are losing a lot of pieces because they're all old or injured. It makes sense that all the players that are leaving are the ones who are always the most hurt, like Keene and Bosa, but they're gonna get a nice tight end in the draft. Yeah, at least I was right on the Chiefs falling off. Actually, they won the division. Fuck. Was that their record though?
The Chiefs? Yeah, they finished 11-6.
Oh, okay.
So you were pretty close to predicting them to obviously struggle a little bit coming off that Super Bowl. I had them at 12-5. I was pretty close there too. But all of us couldn't help but still believe in the Chargers somewhat. Herbert's too good. That team had too much potential. Yeah. I was the only one that believed in the Broncos, though, at 9-8. They did go 8-9. They did choke it away at the end, benching Russ with all that nut-ass nonsense.
Raiders better, though.
I was a hater on the Raiders at 1-16. I was definitely right about Josh McDaniels being the downfall of the organization, but he was able to at least get 2 or 3 wins before he got canned, and then could not predict that Antonio Pierce was going to take over and bring them some extra life. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
we'll see if they want to hire him full time or not. But
They
Yeah.
should.
I was a little bit strong on the Raiders there, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our last division that we predicted, the AFC South. Yeah, I think we were
Who would've
all just
thought?
dead wrong.
This was a rough
God.
one.
We
Oh,
thought
this is so
CJ
bad.
Stroud was Bryce Young.
Yeah, this one's kind of hard to look at. Like, it's kind of hard on the eyes. Like,
It
there's
is.
just everything was wrong here, except like we were all right about the Jaguars being good, but we had them all being better than they actually were just because the other teams looked so bad on paper. CJ Stroud, the truth, none of us believed except T-Gods with 4 wins. We'll count
That's
that as
not even
believing.
believing.
We'll count that because me and Matt had him with 2 and Q had him with 1.
Hey, if you want to talk
Alright,
about quarterbacks that are bad, Trevor Lawrence, he's bad. There's
Yeah,
a whole
he's-
2-minute
yeah.
video of him missing like game-winning. What is it? Like game-winning touchdowns or something.
Yeah,
Wide
Trevor
open.
Lawrence, obviously, yeah, that was
It's all for nothing.
ugly for the second
Can't
half of the
even
season.
see over the defense.
Yeah,
His beautiful hairs in his way.
Blind.
he did keep getting hurt at the end of the season, so we'll see if he can come back from that. But the Titans also big frauds. Matt was the one to call them out right away. 5-11-1.
Still somehow
Very
second.
Now they're
nice,
going to be
very
even
nice.
worse.
Yeah, they could be worse, and they might get big Bill Belichick though. So we'll see what
Like,
happens
what
there.
team? No D-hen, and the quarterbacks are.
Yeah, I
butt
know.
cheeks.
That team's ugly. I had the most faith in the Colts at 6-11. Still nowhere near having faith because they ended up going 9-8. No one could have predicted Gardner Minshew as well, just taking over and almost making them a playoff team. Pretty much had a playoff game in Week 18. Obviously lost, but they were close. They were close. Spicy. This division should be interesting next year for sure. Now that all the teams should be good except probably the Titans. So should be a fun one to watch. All right, and before we continue with looking at the graphics here, let's go back here. Nope,
Hey,
don't want just me. There we go. Let's go back and just do our wild card picks before we show the graphics, because at the end of each graphic, we can update our Super Bowl prediction. So, wild card picks. Let's start with the AFC. Steelers at the Bills. I feel like this is the most free pick of the weekend.
Stretch those Bills.
Bills.
Yeah.
Can't really count out the Steelers because how they've
Yes, you
made the
can.
playoffs with this terrible team, but they should win. Bills should win.
Yeah, I think the Bills should win as well. If the Steelers, Mason Rudolph cannot win a playoff game. I just can't see that happening. Like, he is playing pretty well. If he's able to like get Pickens in open space, maybe, but I just can't see it happening. They have the lowest over/under total, and they have the farthest spread. So like they're projected to just get squashed and put up no offense.
What's the spread?
I think it's like 10.5 favoring the Bills,
Okay.
and then the over/under is like 36 points. So projected to be like 23-13. Pretty ugly game in general, but yeah, we're all going to take the Bills here. Pretty
Yep.
straightforward. Dolphins at the Chiefs. This one's a little juicy.
Chiefs.
It's going to be freezing. The coldest game, they said, one of the coldest games ever. And
Yeah,
the Chiefs. I mean, the Dolphins haven't beat a team over 500, so it's an
At
automatic
all?
loss. At
and
all.
the Dolphins are like.
I thought they won
0-7.
one game.
I don't
over
know.
a team
I know
over
they're just
500.
bad against teams over 500. It could be.
Is Mostert
Zero.
playing?
Who cares?
See, that's the thing is,
Dolphins
like,
suck in the cold.
I
if
care.
if they had all of their players, I think they'd have a chance. Because the Chiefs have been frauds, like all
No,
season.
they suck. I'm so like, bro.
But
Yeah.
the Dolphins have also been frauds, so it's it's kind of a tough spot to make that declaration. Oh, the Dolphins beat the Cowboys like 2 weeks ago,
Yikes.
Thanks, Dolphins.
so that's
For
their
Well,
nothing.
big win of the season.
I'll go juicy here. I'll take the Dolphins because I hate the Chiefs. Bad.
I like that.
And
If I
especially
could-
if Taylor Swift's at the game, bro, it's over for Kelsey. And no Kelsey means no win.
Yeah,
What
that is
about
true.
Chi-Chi?
Yeah, in the cold, Checo's probably going to
Tony.
run wild, but that means Mostert, A-Chain,
Yeah,
all
like,
could run wild as well.
like the Dolphins don't have good running backs too. Like, come on.
Yeah, it just depends on the health. I think some of them are still not practicing, or at least practicing in a limited fashion. Like, if I could guarantee right now that A-Chain, Mostert, Waddle, and Tyreek are all at full strength, I might pick the Dolphins, but I just don't know if I can guarantee that. They're in Arrowhead.
Either way, as long as if their bones aren't like broken, they're playing. Like
Yeah, but they're in Arrowhead, and it's playoff football, and the Chiefs have just been so good for so long.
Reek's going for 200.
That'd be insane. I'm taking the Chiefs though. I'm with Matt and Q.
Oh my god.
T-God's on Finn's
Lord.
Island.
Go
You
ahead.
might be right.
That's fine. That's fine with me.
You might just be right. Should be a
It
good
doesn't
one.
matter because they're going to be out the next week anyway.
Sheesh. Big crack.
Sorry about that.
Browns at the Texans.
Give me the Browns.
Browns.
Yeah, it's got dude. Their defense is just too good. I'm
Yeah.
taking the Browns.
Yeah, I loved the CJ Stroud story. They're coming basically off a playoff win, but I'm taking the Browns. Flacco is back. Flacco's backo.
He's in his prime.
Stop.
And their defense is just so good. So, yeah, give me the Browns. Clean sweep there. Let's move on to the NFC. Packers at the Cowboys. What do we got?
Cowboys.
I mean,
Cowboys, unfortunately,
CD going to Banana Land.
This one's tough. I kind of have like a feeling that the Cowboys could just they're always frauds in the playoffs. This could easily be another fraudulent season. But the Packers have been so hit or miss. I can't like buy in to the idea of the Packers winning. It's tough.
yeah.
I think the Packers cover the spread. I think it's close because the spread's like 7.5.
the Cowboys always choke, man. I want to take the Packers so bad.
Me
but
too.
I won't. Cowboys are gonna win. They're gonna win. Jordan
Cowboys
Love
have been
is
really
so
solid this year. I have to take the Cowboys too. It's a clean sweep, but Gator says Packers winning Sunday, so
Yeah, he's
good. All right.
seems a little biased, just a little bit, but we'll see about that. This is probably the game of wildcard weekend. Rams at the Lions. We get the perfect storyline of Stafford going back to Detroit to try to win a playoff game, first time back, and Jared Goff trying to get revenge on the Rams for basically just ditching him for dead. So who are we taking in this one?
I'm taking the Lions.
Whoa.
I'm taking the
yeah.
Rams.
I am
I'm a
with
believer.
you.
I've been a believer in the Lions.
Yeah,
They're so
Lions are
good.
good.
Yeah.
They're
My only
so
fear
good.
is the Rams are on the road, and this is the first Lions playoff game in like 30 years. And I think it's like their first home playoff game in that stadium ever in Ford Field. So that stadium is going to be
They're
fucking
winning. They're
rocking.
winning. Oh my
That's the only thing that scares me because like they have to be hyped. Like it's going to be insane. But the Rams have been hot. I think the Rams coaching can outcoach Dan Campbell a little bit of McVay magic. Kyron back. Kyron's been munching.
Oh my God,
Puka,
Kyron's
Cup.
so good.
Jameer
That
been
offense,
munching. Laporta
Stafford
been
looks good.
munching.
Laporta
Laporta
dead.
dead.
Munching. Oh shit, Laporta is dead.
Nah, he's
Sorry,
actually
Rams
Rams
could
could low key
pick up
win
the
the
slack.
ship. Oh my God.
Laporta's optimistic he could play. He practiced limited today, but we'll see if he actually is able to go. But that would obviously be a huge hurt piece for the Lions. But the Rams are for real, I think. I think they're being slept on just because they're the 6th seed, but they got hot at the right time. So I'm taking the Rams.
I'm taking the
2v2.
over in this game. That's what I'm taking.
I do like
taking
that.
the
I
over.
think this could be a high scoring game. For sure. Then we get the Eagles at the Bucks. Hooray. Go Birds, I guess. Yeah, go
Go
Birds.
You
Birds.
gotta take the
Have
bird.
to.
You gotta
Yep.
take the bird.
Yeah, have to take the Birds, even with all the issues, even with everything going on. This is the playoffs. This is the time to wake up. This team has all the pieces. We saw it for the first 12 weeks of the season or however long it was. So hopefully they can put it together. But
Please.
I think it's gonna be close. It should definitely be close, but Birds got to pull it out. Go Birds.
Birds by 100.
Clean sweep. All right, let's go back and look at so we just went through each division, but let's take a look at our playoff predictions as well and give each of us give our updated Super Bowl prediction, and you can walk us through your playoff teams as well if you want to. So moving on here to Q, you're up first. These were your playoff predictions. You got 3 teams correct in the NFC and
damn.
3 teams correct in the AFC. You did have the Cowboys and Bucks as your bubble teams for the NFC, and you did have the Chiefs as your bubble team for the AFC. So respectable, but you can walk through it. Go ahead.
I don't know where to begin. I guess I was wrong. That's about it.
It's
And
all right,
yeah,
we were all
I
wrong.
guess my I'll give my Super Bowl prediction. Is that what you want now?
Yeah. Definitely just
So
update that unless you want to roll with the same prediction because it is still in play.
It is still in play. Obviously, this is what I'm rooting for. But I've said that my backup Super Bowl prediction or who I want to play are the Rams and the Browns. I haven't decided a winner yet because I want Joe Flacco to win. That would be cool for Joe Flacco to win, but also for Puka to get a ring. So I'm undecided. But I guess since I have to give a pick, I'll say the Rams.
Rams
Actually,
winning the bowl.
no. Browns win the bowl. That would be insane.
Browns win the bowl over the Rams. Is that your final prediction?
Yes.
Wow, that would be
if the Eagles don't make it.
An insane Super Bowl. Insane. Yeah, bias intended for all of us. We all are believers that the Eagles will win the Super Bowl, but to at least keep it entertaining, we can't just keep rolling with the Eagles. So we'll switch up a little bit here. T-Gods, I believe you are up next. Nope, Matt, I lied.
All right. Oh, the Jets.
I had them when they had Aaron Rodgers. I had belief in this roster. I thought Aaron Rodgers was just going to elevate this offense. Obviously, he got hurt like 4 plays into the season, so that didn't work out. But I did have the Lions in there. Had the Cowboys. I think I had 4 right in the NFC, 3 in the AFC. So
yep,
I didn't do too bad. Went half and half, shooting 50%. Can't hate that. But obviously, the Super Bowl matchup is not happening. So I'm going to update it to the Bills versus the Niners. And I think
Niners.
Bills Mafia is finally going to get the ring.
Wow. Bills season.
Yeah.
I respect the pick. You also did have the Packers as a bubble team, as well as the Ravens and the Dolphins. So you had a couple teams right on the outside looking in, but overall pretty close. Matt's got Bills Mafia taking it home if the Eagles do not. T-Gods, up to you.
Okay, so the Bengals, obviously, that is not happening. I'll just say now I am replacing them with the Ravens, which, Sean, that was your OG pick, Eagles versus Ravens.
Yes, sir.
That's my updated Super Bowl.
All right.
The Ravens I do have winning. They would smoke us, bro. It wouldn't even be close. I love Lamar. Lamar is so good.
Yep.
But yeah, obviously, just looking at my NFC teams, I didn't do too great. The Vikings
got 4 right there.
Hot. Yeah. Well, okay. I guess I did all right, but
yeah,
no Justin Fields. No Justin Fields. What happened?
Yeah, I know.
Well, it happens like that sometimes.
Yeah. You did have the Rams and the Ravens also as 2 of your bubble teams as well. So right on the money with those 2 there. You and Matt were the best in terms of teams into the playoffs. Both of you had
Matt.
7 correct.
Let's go, boy.
Me and Q had 6 correct. Obviously,
the Titans.
The Titans was pretty ugly. My bubble teams were not the greatest either, but I did have a couple in there where I had the Lions, Packers, and Rams all as bubble teams in the NFC with similar records close to the offs. And then I also had the Steelers, but I also had like the Chargers, Broncos, and Seahawks mixed in there too. So they were all in the hunt. But yeah, obviously not the best. My 7 seeds are atrocious looking. 6 seed in the NFC is also pretty big eyesore, just looking at the current records. But overall, did get 3 right on each side, so not the worst. And my Super Bowl prediction still stands as a very real possibility. I'm hoping that is the case.
You should keep it.
Yeah, if that is my prediction still, but if the Eagles do get eliminated, I have the Ravens winning over the Los Angeles Rams. So Ravens-Rams Bowl, I would have the Ravens winning. I am a believer in Lamar as well. I do think Lamar could be that guy this playoffs. I know he doesn't have that much experience. He only has 1 playoff win, but this kind of feels like he's set up to kind of make that career-defining playoff run. So could be an opportunity there, but if not, it's always go Birds. We all want the Birds to win the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. We'll see if that can come to fruition. But that is it for all of our predictions from this offseason and our updated predictions. Q, I do believe we have trivia today as well, so let's jump into that.
Is this our last episode?
This is the last episode of the season, unless we feel like doing another one about something.
Did you
We'll
announce
figure
that?
it out.
Huh?
Did you announce that at the beginning? I feel like we should have made it a bigger deal.
Well, I have it ready for the outro. So
Sorry.
Spoiler.
Your thunder. Spoiled it.
the
'cause no one else is
outro.
aware. All right.
Sorry.
1, 2, 3. I do have 3 questions.
All right, let's
3
get into
trivia
it.
questions.
It's a lot.
Any lists?
No lists. 3
What's
lists.
the lists?
All right. First question here. Ready?
Yep.
Yup.
Wild Card Weekend will feature Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff playing against the teams that drafted them. Joe Flacco the next week is playing against potentially a team that drafted him in the Baltimore Ravens. Who was the last quarterback selected in the first round who started a playoff game against the franchise who picked him? They played it within the last 10 years. 2015, this game was played.
Oh,
Who was the last quarterback selected in the first round who started a playoff game against the franchise who picked him? It's an AFC game.
First round
quarterback.
QB, AFC.
Yes, quarterback. It's a very well-known quarterback. It's not some random. So
I think I
Does it have? It's probably got to be Bull, right?
you played in
Hold on.
AFC, both teams, or both. Obviously, if you played him against him, in the
Yeah.
playoffs.
So
okay.
I think it's got to be Bull, right? It's got to be.
Hold on, everybody.
Bull.
Bobo plays basketball, bro.
No, not Bull. I'm talking about Bull.
Oh, okay.
Gator, maybe historically the worst guess I've ever seen.
No, that one guess last week or whatever week it was when you just naming players that didn't even fit the criteria of the question.
No.
I guess this one doesn't either. But
Holy shit. I don't think he listens.
What team would Gino have been on in the AFC playing against the Jets in 2015 in the playoffs?
God, you all answers?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, sorry.
I got mine. I haven't even tried to think about another possibility.
Me
I
either.
just
I'm just sticking with him.
just jotted it down and said, yeah, like that's. I feel like that's.
Like I
Oh,
Thought of
okay.
him
Okay.
and it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
kinda
I got it.
just
I got
like-
it. I got it. I got it. I got it.
I don't know if it's right, but it feels safe. It's got
feels
it.
right.
very
Got it.
safe.
The answer is Peyton Manning.
Okay,
Yes,
thank God.
sir. 3
Took
for
me way
3.
longer to
Geno
get.
Smith. 3 for 3.
That's
What's
1
3
for
for 3?
1,
All
bro.
3 of us.
Callie
we got
said
it right.
Josh Allen. Oh, I'm sorry.
3 for 3.
Looking
Let's
at
go 6 for
Gator's
6.
next stupid
9 for
message.
9.
Josh Allen also pretty bad guess.
All
I
right.
knew
Okay.
actually
The
knew
worst
this
question.
It was a
10
tough
for
worded
1
question.
team.
All right, next question. What's the only team in the Super Bowl era that hasn't had a player lead the league in rushing, passing, or receiving yards? Team in the Super Bowl. Okay, yeah, it's an NFC team. I thought this was a different question, but the only team in the Super Bowl era that hasn't had a player lead the league in rushing, passing, or receiving, it's an NFC team. I thought this was
So this
that
is
won a
season
Super
long.
Bowl. Yes.
So in a season, basically what NFC team sucks that hasn't had a player lead in passing, rushing, or receiving
which is
think I got
crazy.
I
since
think
the
I-
Super
Ever?
Bowl.
Or
The
just
answer
like
ever.
and they
In,
went on
well, in
to
the
win
Super Bowl era,
Bowl.
I don't know what they did before
So like
1960.
1970 or whatever it was.
Did they
1960.
go on to win the Super Bowl, or is this
No,
just
nothing to do with the Super Bowl. But
Yeah, just the
I
Super
mean,
Bowl
they've
era.
won a Super Bowl or a couple, but
Whoa,
Oh man.
keep dropping hints.
I mean, it could be
Come
from
on, man.
1960.
Now I
They could
gotta-
have won in like 1981.
I don't know, dude.
I said NFC and Gators said Colts.
You said they could have one, or they do have one.
They do have
Well,
at least one, but
I don't know
this
if
is
this team
since
has ever won.
1960.
Hold on, I gotta see if they ever won.
it's crazy because this team has had some great players.
This is tough. NFC.
Okay, they do have one. All right,
Trying
stick
to
with my
think.
answer then. Because I don't know who the hell would have led in any of these.
I'm going out on a limb.
Definitely
I feel like I'm wrong
led.
because of one bowl.
Definitely led.
But I
Definitely
don't know if
led.
he ever led the league.
Did they ever? Yeah, had to have led.
Every team.
Had to have led. Had to. Maybe them.
Mm.
I'm going to go with this team.
Don't do
Switching it up. I was thinking one
Oh.
team. I'm going with this team.
Damn it! It might be the.
There's a couple teams it could be.
Now
Couple.
I'm between
There
two.
are.
Now I'm between two.
I'm locked in.
I'm not.
Take your time.
The third question is the best one.
Can't wait.
I'm between two. I'm just writing them both down. I have a 1 and I have a 2.
You know what?
All right,
I'm
put
going-
1A, 1B.
Yeah, I got a 1A and I got a 1B.
I'm going with my secondary choice because I think Bobo led the league. in
Me
something.
too. I think we're probably on the same wavelength.
Okay, wait. I'm changing.
Three-
I'm changing.
I wouldn't know who you're thinking, Sean, because I just changed it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I changed mine a minute ago. All right, Q. I think we're all locked in.
All right. The
Should we
division of the team is the NFC East.
Yes, sir.
Oh God! I just took them off.
I had the Giants.
team is the Giants. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I switched from the
Oh my God,
Seahawks to the
how?
Giants because
Who?
I was like, Marshawn had league rushing.
Yeah, I didn't even think of the Seahawks. I was thinking the Bears, but I was like, Walter Payton probably back in the day definitely led the.
Matt Forte, I think,
led in
led the
rushing.
league in rushing maybe.
Who was nice on the Commanders?
Good
Clint
question.
Portis.
Yeah, it could have been Clinton Portis. in
I don't know.
rushing.
Lead the league though. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Clint
saying.
Portis was
Sam
nice.
Tatum,
Alfred
Sam
Morris.
Pon-
No way.
Rob Kelly.
Alfred Morris actually might have that year in rushing.
And McNabb.
What was that? 2014. What do you have? Like 1,600
Santana
yards.
Moss. Chris Cooley.
Pierre Garcon.
Chris Cooley could have been. led the
Alfred
league.
Morris had 1,600 yards, but he did not lead the league.
I was also thinking the Bucks.
Brady. No, I was gonna say Brady.
No.
Brady? Did Brady?
Mike
He
Evans,
could've.
maybe leading
Low
key.
receiving.
I mean, but also since the Super Bowl era, like the Commanders, like
yeah,
John
you got to
Riggins.
think back to like the 80s and stuff.
That's the only guy I
Yeah.
know from old Commanders. John.
Brady in
bring up John
2021
Riggins.
led the league in passing yards, by the way.
No way.
It's disgusting.
because he
Yeah,
threw like
Brady
70
had
times a game.
5,316. Yeah, he had the most attempts back to
Ew.
back years, 2021 and 2022. His arm was going to fall off.
Crazy. All right. We can go on to the third and final question. I'm excited for Gator's answers if he answers for this one. I love how Gator put the accent thing in the C for Garcon.
Yeah, like how did he type that? He had to hold down on the key.
All right, final question. In the last 20 years, the Packers have had 3 different quarterbacks throw 30-plus touchdowns in a season: Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and Jordan Love. Who are the only other 2 franchises that have done this? They've all done it within the last 20 years, all the quarterbacks. One's an NFC team, one's an AFC team. So in the last 20 years, these 2 teams have had 3 quarterbacks who have all thrown for at least 30-plus touchdowns. One's an AFC team, one's an NFC team.
Spicy. Spicy.
That's tough.
Holy crap. All right, I got to go like team by team, bar for bar.
If you need any more hints, I could-
So what is this from like 2003 on? You said last 20
Sure.
years.
We'll just say
Like
2000 to be safe.
All right. So since 2000, NFC,
We've seen
AFC.
all of these guys play except for the one because it may have been like early 2000s.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might have a guess already because
I
I'm
might have a guess as well.
because like they definitely had 2 Bulls that had 30 touchdowns.
AFC or NFC?
I have an NFC thought.
I have an
I haven't
NFC
even
too.
thought about the AFC yet.
It's
I'm
hard.
thinking
It's so hard.
The
Oh my God,
I
Gators
have
answer.
2 NFC teams.
Gator, I'm asking for players, not teams. And you name fucking. I don't know.
So we name the team, and then we also have to name the 3 quarterbacks.
Oh, I guess you don't have to name the players, but if you want, it may be
Bonus
more fun
points.
if you name the players.
I'll get bonus points.
Oh, man, it's tough.
Could be them too. Oh my god, this is gross. I have like 3 options. I have 3 teams where I know 2 players had to have thrown for 30 touchdowns in the NFC, but I don't know the third.
These teams have actually played each other this year. That
right,
doesn't
let's-
really help anything, but
Yeah, no. All right, let's go to AFC. I'll start thinking about that.
if you need divisions, I could tell you, but that might give it away.
Nah, don't.
What the fuck, brother?
This is hard.
Two of the quarterbacks have done it like recently. Obviously, if you had 3 quarterbacks in 20, yeah, recently.
All right. That makes me think it's going to be this team. And I'm going to go with this bull, and this bull. All right. AFC.
Who lost?
I'll give another
Yes,
minute.
I'm sticking to it.
I got to think of
Not
an
fucking
AFC
with it.
team that's had good QB play for a long time.
Oh my god.
What Gators guesses?
I'll just read it. It might throw you might if you're thinking it's gonna throw you off, but he said, okay, Joe Montana, Chiefs, Seahawks, Russ, Saints, Drew Brees.
What's he saying?
I don't know. Steelers, Big Ben, Eagles, McNabb, Randall, Dougie P, Chargers, Phil Rivers, and fuck it, Browns, Baker, Johnny Manziel, Joe Flacco. Like,
What is he saying?
Gator,
Just words.
somehow you named all those players, and not one of them are on this list.
Yikes, Cat.
All right. Thank God I have none of those teams or players.
Sometimes Gator just spews.
I'd hate my Slef too. All right, I'll give you
All
30
right.
seconds.
I'm locked in, but I'm
Come on, lock it
not
in, Sean.
confident
Have
at
fun
all.
with it.
All right, fine, but I don't believe it. It's not true.
I mean,
At least
I
the
don't believe
third-
mine either.
My third guess for the one team is not true, but I have 2 teams, and I have 3 players for each.
All right. Well, the NFC team is in the NFC North.
Fuck.
Oh, I'm already
It
off.
is
I said
the-
Cowboys.
It is the Vikings with
Fuck.
Dante Culpepper, Brett Favre, and Kirk Cousins.
Ah,
I had the
damn.
Lions with Goff, Stafford, and someone else.
Who
Did
else?
Baker
Dan Orlovsky?
did Baker throw for 30 this year?
No way. Absolutely not.
Yeah, there's no way.
No chance.
He had
Absolutely not.
28. He had 28, brother. I had Jameis, Brady, and Baker for the Bucks.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Because Jameis and Brady definitely both did.
The AFC team is in the AFC North.
Oh
And
my
it is
god.
the Bengals with
Well, I was
Palmer,
thinking
Andy Dalton, and Joe Burrow.
Ew.
I
Did
should've given
Minshew
you-
throw for 30 this
I
year?
didn't realize
I
they
said
were
the
both.
Colts too.
I said the Colts. You said the Colts.
We all said the Colts.
Oh my god. Who was
I mean,
the
it was
third
obvious
guy?
with Manning and Luck.
Yeah, I
Look,
had no
Wentz.
idea
and then
who
I
that
just
was.
wrote someone else. I couldn't
Did
think
Wentz
of
throw
their
for
goal
30,
for either
low-key?
team.
No way.
No way.
No, Wentz would have
30
thrown it like
picks.
20 max. Oh my god. Oh my god, he threw for 27.
Ew, Wentz.
Our guesses were so close.
See, the Colts should have never got rid of him. JT was good with him.
I also thought the Rams for the NFC. That was another one of my thoughts with Kurt Warner, Stafford, and then I was like, did Bradford ever throw for 30? Like I couldn't think of anyone in between
No way.
Warner or Stafford. Let me see. Stafford's peak. Bradford's peak. He was so bad. Oh my god, he peaked at 21. He was garbage.
Ew, 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 ew.
And then I had the Cowboys as a thought too with Romo and Dak, but I couldn't think of a
I was
third.
also thinking the Chargers too.
Yeah. Drew
It
Brees
was
could have
before
snuck in there.
Phil. Oh, yeah.
And then Herbo. I don't think Drew Brees played there long enough to do that though.
Brees.
Drew Brees Hall.
Phil Rivers. Like, I need Joe Flacco throwing 30 touchdowns in 6 games.
Joey. Yeah, Gator, that was a wild guess. Drew Brees
That's
threw
all I got.
27 for the Chargers.
It's also
Damn.
close.
Damn. There was a lot of close ones. Tough one. Great question, Q. Great trivia and
What
another
is Gator
podcast.
talking about?
I don't know what he's talking about either.
Announce it.
Announce it. Yes, please.
Announce it,
please.
Gator.
What am I announcing? Gator existing? Gator,
Yeah,
say
that's
something in the
correct.
chat for whatever you're talking about. But okay. That is it for today's episode. We'll probably be taking at least a couple weeks off. Fantasy football pretty much wrapped up for the season. Maybe we'll try to come back sooner with some dynasty content or draft stuff, but we're not huge on knowing college ball like that. Not epic college ball knowers. Next season, Gator will be a permanent guest host every Thursday. He's dreaming.
Any permanent
We'll just take
guest.
that up with the execs.
You can guess. We'll bring Gator back next year for sure, but permanent is wild.
He's trying to be Aaron Rodgers.
five of our heads here every week, and then Gator's cell phone head. But yeah, again, if you are interested in using Fanatics, please go to the link in our bio. Take advantage of that sale going on now, 24 ship. And thanks again for another great season of football. Thanks for watching. If you have stuck it out with us this long today, or at least this season, we'll definitely be back next season as well, trying to do bigger and better things. If you're still here on Twitch, definitely throw us a follow, turn on notifications so you don't miss when we come back. Throw us a sub on YouTube as well. We'll probably be posting some clips and whatnot over the next couple of weeks, but other than that, probably going to be at least a month. So enjoy the NFL playoffs. Hope you won your fantasy chip. You can find us anywhere. Just search Super Fantasy Bros. You should be able to find any platform. If you ever have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out, football related. Q, you got lawsuits against Gator. Nice.
Sure.
What is talking about, man?
He's just yapping. He's yapping.
What else is new?
But that's a wrap.
Guns.
Season 4, Super Fantasy Bros in the books. So see you guys probably when we decide to start the next season. So peace out.